Public Safety Committee meeting for October the 2nd, 2023. Councilor Gwaltney.
Here.
Wolverton. Jones.
Here.
Nelms.
Here.
And Harden.
Here. Thank you, Mr. Seegers.
Thank you. You got a quorum?
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to dispense with the reading and approve of the minutes from the Public Safety Committee meeting.
So moved.
Meeting September 11th. Thank you.
I'm gonna be,
Councilor Nelms with the motion, Councilor Harden with the second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. All those nay. The ayes have it 4-0. Under old business, 0703-23 request for consideration to adjustment to criteria for approval of events impacting normal street flow and access. I wanted to read through for the room, the committee, whoever else wants to provide feedback. Huh?
We're getting close on this.
Yes, since I've lost my notes twice somehow, that's fine. I try not to put notes in my work notebook, but I'm getting up. So, in a nutshell, and we'll add whatever else the committee and the others in the room would like to add. We'll take the fee to $250 as we discussed for the races, up from $50 today. The race route will be posted 7 days in advance.
By the group,
By the group.
and does that also, to get their permit, how far in advance they have to do to get a permit?
I don't know how, there's not really a written policy today that I found, so
I'm just-
probably, I mean, they're typically gonna be motivated to get advertising out for their
Yeah,
race,
yeah,
just to
yeah,
get people to sign up.
Okay.
Do we wanna say, what you think, 60 to 90, maybe, or 60 days? I don't know.
No, they're gonna be.
Yeah, they're gonna, because they
They're
want
gonna
people
be
to show
waiting
up.
for that,
Okay.
yeah. Well, because they're gonna have to order shirts, they're gonna have to do
Yeah.
that at least 30 days before. I mean, they're gonna be, you don't have to worry. I mean,
Don't worry about that.
that's not
Okay.
a thing.
All right.
So the race route signs 7 days in advance, but also pulled post race, because most likely Scott would grab those. So that kind of works out nicely. That if Scott picks it up, he can then in turn notify HPD so they can keep a running log. We will get the data from the race organizer posted on the city website. I'll work with Brian to determine a spot to put it on there. It may just be a link to their list of the races and a link to the race organizer site.
Can I make a comment about
Yes,
that?
sir.
If you can be pulled out of the middle of that, if it
wouldn't
requires,
be
okay.
You mean the city?
Well, I thought you said you were gonna get with Scott every time that,
No, I meant get with Brian for
mean
where to
Brian.
put it on the city website.
oh, okay. I
Just
thought
finding
you
a
were,
home
each
for it.
time
No.
it came up, you had to go put it on the website.
I do not need more to do.
Right.
like John, I sent him the stuff for the Jimmy Hill race.
Right.
And like, there's not a place for it on
Right,
our site.
okay.
just
I
yet,
thought,
so.
I misunderstood what you said you were gonna be doing. I thought-
I'm not trying to drive a ton of work for anyone. so-
Or you, I thought.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
So the races are currently approved and reviewed by HPD. We'll continue that process, just so that they can approve under the guidance that it doesn't restrict access in or out of neighborhoods. And then lastly, HPD already handles, in my discussions, they already handle the state rate adjustments for their staff that does these off duty. So we don't have to include anything for that. So the only other item that I had outstanding on the list was the A-frame boards that you mentioned.
The sandwich boards?
Sandwich boards, thank you. Not an A-frame, sandwich.
Well, A-frame too, they're A's.
That's my
They're
simple
both.
mind.
They're both.
The only, like I mentioned, was I just would be curious who in the city would be responsible for handling that. So, thoughts there?
I mean, the street crews, just like, they would pick up signs that were trash after a race or an event or, illegal signage that's posted somewhere. And I'm thinking just having a few, not like a ton of them, but just like 3 sandwich boards that have our city logo on it, that's real generic, that can be used for our events, a race, anything, just to say, expect delays for event. And that could be a race, it could be our stuff, it could be the parade, whatever it is, we'll just have these sandwich boards that pop up a week before events. And just that few so that, our street crews can just go snatch and just keep them, or, pick them up the week after.
They good with that?
Yeah.
Non-committee?
I'm good with that.
I think Berkeley, would that be something that the street crews could handle, putting out those, or would it be traffic.
I think Randy does most of that stuff with the traffic department. I would think, I mean, yeah, I mean, he says they can do it when they set the cones and all that
How's
out.
that?
He sets the cones,
Yeah.
so they could do it when they set the cones
Okay.
and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, just, I think more or less is where you want them located.
Well, I think she's saying, I mean, I don't mean to speak for you, but you're saying like in advance, like the week
Yeah,
up
just a week
before.
before.
Not if it comes out in the morning, but the week of.
If not, we can, I'll get one of my guys. I can work with Randy on that, we can get it taken care of.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll sync up with Randy too, just to collect his feedback, and then
Yeah.
I'll take these notes and distribute them to the committee, and then at the next committee meeting, we'll plan to basically just simply yay or nay this.
I would say this, if you guys could identify, like, the locations of
Okay.
wherever the race is gonna be, if you got certain areas you want.
Okay.
then-
Yeah, we talked about
and
major thoroughfares, Roseland,
Yeah.
Manhattan, you know, wherever it may impact.
Just some places you guys want.
Claremont.
So, yeah, I mean, we could work with them, so, we'll get them, we can get them put out, we'll work with Randy then.
And if, you know, I need to touch base with you, like, before stuff.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
Let us know.
okay.
All right, committee, anybody else in the room have any additional items they'd like me to include? We've rehashed this a few times. Okay. Anybody else? Okay,
Just
I will
chickens.
formalize this and send out to the committee for review, and then the next committee meeting will up or down it. So we'll carry this item over.
Thank you.
All right, so 0703-23 is carried over. 1408-23, request for consideration of traffic signage at the intersection of Lucerne Boulevard and Parkway Drive, Counselor Sims. And Brian, you've got the graphic that came from traffic and engineering, I guess technically. Good teamwork, right? So what's going up on the screen, I reached out to Randy, Kale, and the yellow dots are the proposed locations for yield signs to be placed in conjunction with this item. Did I say yellow dots? Sorry.
I know you meant red.
Yeah.
You meant
I thought
red.
maybe you were just having
Sorry.
a colorblind
He's been
moment.
drinking.
Yeah,
Andy's been drinking.
I've got yellow in the brain, 'cause we get a lot of,
So Park,
got a spreadsheet
Yeah.
with a lot of yellow on it right now. It's not good. Yes, red dots.
red dots.
I think I need to get some therapist.
So-
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up of Lake Shore, the first yield will be to the right, at the end of Parkway Drive on the right.
Yeah.
Right.
Coming
On either
down.
side.
If you go to the right,
And then going to the left of Lucerne, there's a yield going. Is that right? A
I
yield
think the
going
yield's coming
towards-
up Parkway if you want to turn to the left on Lucerne. You got a yield sign.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, got it,
Yeah.
got it.
So you ensure, what Randy
So
said was,
yield.
and Mr.
Yeah.
Smith, correct me if I speak errantly, but this would provide for
Okay,
sustainable traffic flow and people pausing to identify if there's additional traffic coming without putting stop signs.
Yeah, Lucerne's always a, you're always moving, and then if you are, headed south.
Parkway South.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, you have to yield on, so the dot on the bottom is a yield sign for someone who's traveling to the east on
Yes.
Lucerne and turns right down the first leg and then, I am backwards. Yep, I'm backwards. That's an open movement. Like, I think Mr. Kendrick said that.
Lucerne.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is the second yield sign, that one right there, at the V, at the Y, that's for someone coming
Southbound.
from Lucerne, coming south, and they're gonna go into, they're gonna Parkway Drive, they're gonna merge back into that.
And that's
Okay.
the yield right there.
That's to ensure that someone coming down Parkway Drive
So the
on the east
left,
side doesn't hit someone coming from
Yeah.
the west side.
the left side of the Parkway Drive gets the right of way of sorts, and the
this
yield
is
goes to the
fun.
right side.
This is so
Yeah.
much fun.
Power of the leader.
All right. Are there any other questions from the committee or interested
No, I
parties?
think it's a good idea.
I like it.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to,
Did you have any feedback? This is your
That's
item,
it.
sorry.
Thanks,
Okay.
Nick.
To approve the
Thanks for
recommendation.
your work on this with
Yeah.
Alan Ray.
Rapid.
to approve the 3 yield signs at the triangle on Lucerne and Parkway Drive.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion by Councilor Nelm, second by Councilor Harden. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 4-0. This item moves to council. There's no items underneath new business, so public safety is adjourned.